the entire race today, and of course the season that we have as well, because we have 3 epic rounds that will lead up to the grand finale that will take place later on this month, and of course hashtag nofilterdxb. So we kick things off today, of course, with our first round here at the National Circuit at the Dubai Autodrome. So let's tell you a little bit about the championship here before we go into the actual race. So we start things off, of course, with qualifying. We've had practice sessions already, we've had the manager drivers briefing, and then of course we'll have a 20-minute race, and then of course the results will be posted after that. But let's talk about the event as a whole before we get into things. This, of course, is the region's first combined online and on-site esports racing event launched as part of hashtag nofilterdxb. The hashtag nofilterdxb Esports Tournament 2021 was launched this year as part of the city's spectacular new look motor show and lifestyle event being staged by Dubai World Trade Center, DWTC, from the 24th to the 27th of November, where of course we'll have our grand finale. Taking place at the iconic Dubai Harbour 1 week ahead of the greatly anticipated UAE Golden Jubilee weekend, hashtag nofilterdxb is perfectly suited to including an international esports event and an action-packed program of experiences. And of course today we're going to have our own little action-packed experience right here, live streaming in front of you on YouTube and Facebook, of course, as well here at Pole Position. We have a total of 14 drivers from what I can see on the grid. Of course, all of them conforming to the GT3 spec regulations. We have a mix of cars here, but it seems to be the most prominent car that we have on the grid, of course, is the Bentley Continental Gt3. A beautiful car. This is the current generation of it as well. This looks like there's no custom liveries on any of them. We're all running the same liveries on all the cars. And of course, we have a mixed bag of drivers hailing from all over the world. However, this, of course, is the Middle Eastern Championship, and we have drivers who are located within the Middle East, including right here in the United Arab Emirates, Bahrain, and as far away as Lebanon. We're about 6 minutes to go before the green flag drops, and of course this event is organised by Pole Position Events Management, the region's first combined online and on-site esports racing event, which gives enthusiasts the chance to qualify through a series and compete at home time attacks and multiplayer battles broadcast live, of course, on YouTube, as you can see right here. You can also check it out on Facebook as well. And of course, is Pole Position Dubai. The tournament reaches its climax during the pulsating schedule of an on-site finals taking place over 4 days of the hashtag nofilterdxb at the Dubai Harbour, which of course is where we'll be doing our grand finale. Not only that though, there is a huge prize pool on offer and up to 20,000 dirhams for the prize fund, which is a fantastic prize to be playing for here in hashtag nofilterdxb. Round 1, no prize to be given away. It's just sort of bragging rights, which of course all will lead up into our grand finale as well. Why don't we give a huge shout out to our sponsors here who've been helping us in the tournament and got us going here. BenQ, SimCube, of course, they're the direct drives. We've got Cube Control as well, who are helping us out with the steering wheels here for the hashtag nofilterdxb. As I said, we've got 4 rounds of racing, 3 that kind of lead up to the championship, and it's going to be a stellar one so far. We've had a number of online races throughout sort of the past 2 years, and it's great that it's starting to pick up now, especially here in the region, and it's certainly booming, and we're getting more and more drivers who are interested in it. We had somewhat close to 200 drivers who wanted to participate, who showed interest. We've got our first 14 drivers here today, but we've got many more that are on the way, that are getting their setups ready. They're getting into the groove of things. They're learning the tracks. They're learning how their setups work and everything like this. And no doubt we'll see them soon enough. Now, before we get started, why don't we have a quick look at who we have here today? We have all the way from Bahrain, Ibrahim Al-Mubarak in his Bentley Continental Gt3. We have Mohammed Akram from the United Arab Emirates, also in the Bentley Continental Gt3, and we have, I think, 4 of them. Then we have 5, because Khalifa Al-Kabaisi, Paul Stanley, and Gav Naylor also driving the Bentley Continental Gt3. We have who else have we got here on the grid? The BMW M6s we have here, don't we? We've got Harry Hannam. Of course, he raced in the MSO series earlier this year. So close to winning it as well, I think, if I remember correctly. Just a small little wiggle going through one of the final corners, and he lost that all-important win to the eventual winner as well. But great to see Harry Hannam race. A very, Very good sim racer here indeed. Great to see him back doing some more racing here in the United Arab Emirates. Harry Hannum is going to be one to watch, no doubt about it. Who else is in the BMW M6? We've got Hazem Zaki, who also raced as well earlier this year. We've got Vehicle Professor. Now, of course, it isn't his real name, hailing from Saudi. We don't have his name, but that's what he's put in here, so we'll just call him the Vehicle Professor. Maybe he's a professor of the BMW M6. We don't know. We'll find that out when we start the race here. In the Porsche 911, we have Alexandros Animas, originally from Greece, but races here in the United Arab Emirates, not only in sim racing, but also in the NRD, or, as we call it here, the name escapes me now. It's racing the Autodrome. I know that. He's raced in the Seat Cupra, or the Cupra Leon for many years, and has certainly put himself on the map. He actually races currently in the TCR category as well. He raced the Clio's, a multiple-time champion, and he's making the jump from the on-track action at the Dubai Autodrome all the way onto the digital spectrum and racing here on the Dubai Autodrome as well in our first round of #nofilterdxb. We have another 2 cars on the grid as well, because I've just seen that there is another BMW M6 that has a different livery. That's Chadi Hayek. He's also raced as well online here in the Middle East. He has done the EMSO Summer Series and another face to watch there as well. Although I remember him racing in the Beetle. I wonder how much the Beetle will change when we come to the BMW, because we also had the BMWs this year as well. So not too much of a steep jump. However, we're going from one simulation to the other, so of course there is different settings, different feedback and everything like that, but we'll find that out when it comes to play. We've also got the BMW, we've already talked about those. We've got the Mercedes AMG GTs as well. The Vans Borognis is behind the wheel of that from the United Arab Emirates, and as well we had an Audi. We do indeed. We have the Audi R8 with Rob Day, who'll be driving that. And those are our 13 participants. I'm pretty sure we had a 14th not too long ago. Maybe someone has got a bit of a disconnection issue, but we're about to go green in about 1 minute and 15 seconds. There'll be green flag to set the pace for qualifying, where we'll do a 15-minute shootout of how we set the grid up here at the Dubai Autodrome, the national circuit here. Now, my screen has decided to go full on, so I can only see half of what I'm supposed to be seeing. So let me just configure this correctly. Bear with us. There we go. Perfect. Thank you so much, Ryan. Of course, Ryan Trutch, the organizer of the event, here assisting us as well. We already had our mandatory drivers briefing as well earlier on today, so the drivers know exactly what to do, what they can't do, and everything else in between. So about 30 seconds to go before we start qualifying here for the #nofilterdxb Esports tournament for 2021. And there's plenty after here, because of course this is the launch of the #nofilterdxb Esports tournament, and it's part of the strategic plan by Pole Position to take esports racing in the GCC region to a whole new level, creating genuine opportunities for the best drivers to enter the real world of motorsport. And we've actually seen this a number of times. If you look at a lot of categories around the world, e-motorsports or esports motorsports has actually played a big role in promoting drivers from their house or their bedroom to the racetrack. I mean, if you're a fan of NASCAR, I think it's William Byron and Alex Bowman who have gone from sim racing all the way up to basically racing at the Daytona 500 and challenging for the championship. Guys like Jimmy Broadbent, who spent time at home in his simulator in the shed, has gone on now to race Pragas in Britcar in the UK, and has even won a race in the last round of the championship. And he started off as a sim racer, and there's many more stories like this. So sim racing is an excellent way, and it's a cost-effective way as well, of getting into the realms of motorsport. Now, we have officially begun our qualifying session here. We have currently, how many cars have we got out on track? We have a few, and we've just got a 15th driver as well, haven't we? Because we have now a Corvette C7R. Mustafa Al-Azawi is behind the wheel of that one. Now, who is our other driver that's popped up as well? We've seen Jamal Gondor has come back, and he's now in a similar liveried BMW M6, the same as Charlie Hayek, so he's returned as well. The other driver is what we have here is, now where's he gone, is Manahor as well in the BMW M6 as well. So we're currently looking at Ibrahim Al-Mubarak because he's one of the few drivers that's on track at the moment. And we're just going to stick it with the TV camera here during the qualifying and, of course, the first sort of laps that we're doing here as well. Fast through Sector 1 and Sector 2, but of course it is on his outlap here, so this is going to provisionally set the field, but it's the next lap now that's actually going to count towards it. And let's see what we can do here as we switched over now to the BMW M6 of... Who is this now that we're looking at it? Because that's not Ibrahim Al-Mubarak, is it? No, it's Harry Hannam, and a formed, or an up-and-coming racer here. I know that he does a little bit of karting as well, but he certainly has his eyes set on esports here. And as we said before, esports is a great stepping stone into the realms of actually racing in real life as well. Harry Hannam goes quickest of all with 1:21.238, about 0.3 of a second ahead of the Bentley Continental Gt3 of Al-Mubarak, who is currently in second position. In turn, he's 0.3 of a second ahead of Manahor, who is in the BMW M6, currently in third position. The Corvette of Al-Azawi is currently 2.2 seconds off of our race leader. We'll keep an eye on here of... My voice seems to have got lost somewhere in the pit lane. Oh, there we go. It's come back now, hasn't it? So we're back now with Ibrahim Al-Mubarak, who's done purples through 1 and 2. Now, will he go purple through Sector 3, and can he dethrone Harry Hannam from the top of the timesheets? Sector 2 timing was very, very slim, but it was in the positives. That's great. And he does go faster. He's done a 1:21.009 even, so that puts him fastest. Yes, it does. And that puts him 6,000, or even less than that, come to think of it, ahead of Harry Hannam. Here's Alexander Sanivas. He knows his track very well, although he knows it in real life. I know that he does do a little bit of racing online here and there, but it's great to see him in the championship as well. Great to see him in a GT3 car as well at Porsche 911. Look, he looks great inside of it, although I do prefer the TCR Cupra that he drives. He does not improve his time, does he, Anivas? No, he's still in sixth position for the time being. Gav Naylor does not improve either, although he's doing green. No, it's not. This is Vehicle Professor, who's gone green in both Sector 1 and Sector 2. However, he's not gone purple now, has he? Because he is now coming across time to do his first lap, so he goes 7th fastest. Now, let's go with Harry Hannam, shall we? Let's try and see. Yes, there we go. There's Harry Hannam in his BMW M6. Now he's across the line. Does he improve this time round? No, he's at a 1:21.328, so actually that's slower than his fastest lap so far. However, he still puts him on the front row of the grid provisionally for now. So we've got just over 10 minutes to go here in our first round of hashtag nofilterdxb. Make sure you're joining the conversation online with us. So we'll do our best to answer your questions if we can get access to that feed. Or no doubt someone will tap me on the shoulder and let me know what your guys' questions are. So Harry Hannam, currently second fastest. Let's have a look further down. Let's go through the field. Let's have a quick jump on to Rob Day's Audi R8. Here he is, currently 12th fastest at the moment. Alone at the back of the grid, but surely he's done an outlap only because he's showing his 11.1 seconds adrift from our race leader. And Harry Hannam's actually just done a personal best as well because he's brought the gap down to 1/10 of a second. No, that's gone up, actually, because it was less than 1/10 of a second separating. So actually, Al-Mubarak has gone fast, hasn't he, with 10 minutes to go here in the session. As Rob Day in the Audi R8 looking for a fast lap here. Sector 1, no improvement. Actually, 6 seconds slower than his personal best so far. Let's see what it is like through Sector 2. Now, looks like he's run wide going through the chicane here on the national circuit. He's through the bowl complex now. A lot of a bit loose there. Looks like he's a bit too early there on the accelerator and just kind of lost the rear end going through the bowl complex. So unfortunately, I don't think he will improve on this lap. But let's see. 1:32.415. I don't think he will improve because he's got quite a deficit on him, hasn't he? But let's go back with our race leader in the Bentley Continental Gt3. There he is now. 21.215 is the time to beat. He's a tenth of a second quicker than Harry Hannum. Great to see the Bahraini out in front at the moment, as he works his way through towards the back straightaway here as well. Through into the left-hander we go. And sector 1 of 40.15. No, hang on a second, it's counted down. That's why it keeps constantly changing. Let's see if he goes purple through here. Can he set? No, he doesn't. He goes slightly slower than he has done on his fastest lap so far. But sector 2, let's see if he can improve as he works his way through the chicane. A much cleaner line compared to Robert Day. And it seems to be we've got some more drivers. Okay, Brian Trutch, organiser here. I don't think he's participating 100% here, but there he is on track. He's in the Mercedes AMG. We do have a few more other drivers. We do, but who do we have? Alex Connor has popped up on our screens as well, because he's just gone third fastest, hasn't he? Yes, he has, and he's in the BMW M6 as well. So that accounts for 2 drivers. Yep, it certainly does. So 7.5 minutes to go. Apologies for that, just had to get a quick sip of water there so the throat doesn't dry up over our next 7 minutes of racing here. So, your top 3 here, Al-Mubarak, Hannum and Connor. And we'll keep a close eye now on our top 3, because Harry Hannum has just gone quickest of all, hasn't he, with a 1:21.055. And he's a tenth of a second, even more, almost close to 2/10 of a second actually faster than our race leader, qualifying leader, which was Ibrahim Al-Mubarak, but no longer. Harry Hannum's actually gone into the pit lane, so that's an interesting one. So let's see what he's gone in there to do. No, because he's on track. Why was it greyed out? Doesn't matter. He's now working his way through the final corners. Now, can he improve again here at the Dubai Autodrome? Across the line, but no improvement this time round, although he still sits at the top of our timesheets with 6 minutes to go here in our first qualifying for round 1 of No Filter, or hashtag No Filter DXB. So, just over 5 minutes remaining. Ooh, Harry Hannum spun, hasn't he? I think he was trying to go for a very fast lap there, but unfortunately he's lost it, going onto what looks to be the back straightaway there, isn't it? Well, it's a good thing he's currently out in front for the time being, but he's got to be a little bit more careful, because Al-Mubarak most likely would have seen that he's now in second position and will be on a tear of his own, and will be looking for that all-important pole position to start the first race at the front of the field. So Harry Hannum spins. Doesn't look like there's any changes just yet. Let's go with Al-Mubarak. Let's see where he is on track. Now, he's making his way towards the back straight now, but what are his sector times here? Let's keep a close eye on his sector times, and let's see if he's improved. Now, that's where Harry Hannum spun on the previous lap, on the exit there. No improvement through Sector 1 for Al-Mubarak. Can he improve, though, through Sector 2? He's still on the front row of the grid for now, but for how much longer? He works his way through. Now, Sector 2 there, a bit slow, 14th of a second slower than his personal best, so no purple time here, unless he can fly through the third sector here, going through the final corner. I don't think there will be any improvement. I don't think there will be. We have a new person in third position. Ishash Manor has gone into third position with let's see what his time is, a 1:21.263, and he's just come across the line as well. But this was set on the previous lap by the looks of it, because he was third already. So Alex puts Alex Connor now into fourth. He's still on the second row of the grid, however, in fourth position. So he's going to have to find some time out there on track as well. So 3 minutes to go now in qualifying for #nofilterdxb round 1. Of course, we kick things off today with a 50-minute qualifying session and then a 20-minute plus 1 lap, I think, for the race. And then, of course, we will that will, of course, set the field up for round 1, of course. And then we'll have 2 more rounds. So in total, we'll have 3 rounds, and then 1 grand finale, which will take place, of course, at the #nofilterdxb event at the Dubai Harbour, which is sort of a new take on the motor show, which includes a lot of things, including this year esports, which, of course, pole position will be there with, if I'm not mistaken, a setup or 2. And if you're going down, if you live in the United Arab Emirates and you want to check out a simulator for yourself and what pole position does, feel free to check out #nofilterdxb. And while you're there, check out the pole position race room setup they have there, because it's an incredible system. I've seen some of them that they have downstairs. There was one of the guys who was participating in round 2 was downstairs practicing for the second round, and the setups they have done there are absolutely incredible. I've driven it myself last year around the Autodrome as well, and I've got to say it is a fantastic setup they have here, and I urge you all to try them out. It looks like we have enough time for at least a lap and a half, and just on that previous lap as well, Ishash Monor also did personal best through Sector 1 and Sector 2, but unfortunately lost time through Sector 3 on the previous laps. But he's just gone purple through Sector 1 with a 49.5. Is he on track here for pole position, or at least second, as we work our way through the mole complex? Let's see if he can dethrone Harry Hannum and Al Mubarak as we race our way through green through Sector 2. Fractions of the second there. He's now fourth now, because Alex Connor has gone second fastest. But where is Manahor going to be when he comes across the line? Is he going to be on the second row of the grid? Yes, he is. He goes fastest here at the Autodrome on the national circuit. He's got enough time, 1 lap to go, but Harry Hannum, Alex Connor and Al Mubarak all have 1 lap as well. Who is it going to be on the front row of the grid? We're going to have to wait and see, as Manor goes quickest of all here. And Harry Hannum in second. Let's go and see what Harry Hannum is up to on track, actually. Let's see if he's going faster as well as he's making his way through the final corner. What can he do here? That's qualifying over. And Manor will be in pole position. Harry Hannum second, Alex Connor third, Ibrahim Al Mubarak in fourth, Khalifa Al-Kabaisi fifth, Paul Stanley sixth, Ahmed Akram seventh, Hazem Zaki eighth, Mal Gandor is ninth, and rounding out the top 10 is Alexandros Animas. So that was a fantastic qualifying session we just had there for the first round of #nofilterdxb Christopher Millwall back with you here on commentary duties for round number 1. And of course, before we get into our feature race, it looks like we have a warm-up race of 15 minutes before we get started here at hashtag nofilterdxb. Of course, we're using the Dubai Autodrome National Circuit configuration. Let's have a quick look at our settings here. So, it's a nice sunny day outside, 18 degrees temperature, 32 degrees on track, and we've got a little bit of a gust of wind. It would be nice to see actual 18 degrees here in the United Arab Emirates, but we will soon enough as the weather keeps getting cooler as the days go by. Right, so we have 17 drivers on the track, or in this race even. Manahor, who was the fastest man out there in qualifying, who put in that qualifying time, I think it was 2 laps before the end of it, wasn't it, that he shot himself up the order. Alex Connor went up to the second, putting him down to 4th, and then immediately answered back and went straight up into pole position. Now, who we got on track here? Harry Hannam is on track for our warm-up race here in his BMW M6. We've got a few more drivers here as well. We've got Khalifa Al-Kabaisi, Mustafa Al-Azawi. Now let's have a look at this. We haven't seen much of the Corvette C7R, have we now? So let's have a ride with the Corvette C7. And of course, with sim racing, we have multiple cameras to choose from. We don't have to go through the deal of buying tons and tons of cameras. We can just hop on any camera we'd like to, so we can jump straight on board with Al-Azawi there, and you can see inside the car it looks exactly like a race car, doesn't it? And it's great to be able to ride on board here with the drivers well, he's just stopped for some reason. Okay, well, he's gone into the pit lane, so that didn't last very long now, did it? So let's go back to our TV camera. We're looking at Harry Hannam here. He will start on the second position, and on the first row of the grid alongside Manor. Behind them will be Alex Connor and Ibrahim Al-Mubarak. In a fantastic sort of last 5 minutes of qualifying not too long ago, where it was anyone's guess of the top 4 who would actually be on pole position, but it eventually went the way of Manor in his BMW M6. And it looks like, well, we've got 2 M6s on the front row, because of course with Harry Hannam and Manor. We've got Ibrahim Al-Mubarak in his Bentley, who will line up in 4th, but then we have Alex Connor's BMW. So we have BMWs actually in the top 3 here. We locked out the entire front row, and of course the one slot at least on the second row of the grid as well. Now we have a few more of BMWs. I think we've got 4 more in total, because of course Hazem Zaki, Jamal Gandor, and we have another one. Someone else got different livery. Vehicle Professor has one as well. That was only 3, wasn't it? Because Charlie Hayek is also driving a BMW M6 as well. There are 2 of these Mercedes AMG GTs in the field, the Vans Morongis, and of course Ryan Trutch as well. Ryan Trutch, I think he's just participating here because he can, because of course he is the organiser of the event. Of course, the man who runs pole position here, who brought sim racing to or essentially sim racing to the GCC as well. Not the first one to do it, but certainly the first one to do it with Race Room here and with some fantastic simulators. Of course, we give the opportunity for the drivers to race from home, because that's what all the drivers currently are at the moment, except for Ryan, who's currently just underneath me as I'm speaking. The rest of the drivers, the rest of the 16 drivers, are actually participating from the comfort of their home. Because, of course, with sim racing, you can do it pretty much from anywhere, as long as you have the rig, you have the PC, and, of course, you have Race Room installed. Now, I can imagine most of the drivers here would have some incredible setups and rig setup and everything like that, with steering wheels, gearboxes, and whatever. And I'm pretty sure there's got to be someone within this championship at some point who's going to be completely crazy and do it with a keyboard and mouse. That would be a sight to behold, but I don't think we'll get that crazy. A controller, maybe, but I definitely don't think we'll see a keyboard and mouse. Of course, though, we will see plenty of rigs, including ones like we have here at pole position. There is Alex Connor with a very wonky front bumper, so it looks like he's hit something. Harry Hannam also has damage by the looks of it at the front of his car. Indeed, he does. Where has he picked that up from, I wonder? unless he's picked it up in the pit lane or he's gone a bit too close to somebody at some point, because of course we will run with damage here. Fuel and tyre wear is also on as well, so it's not hashtag easy mode here in our hashtag nofilterdxb round 1. We do put the drivers to the test. Of course, we do run it as close to real life as humanly possible. But you can see there, look at Charlie Hayek's car here. There's no damage whatsoever. He's got a perfectly clean front bumper. However, Harry Adams and Alex Connors are both crumpled. And, oh, Paul Stanley's also got a crumpled bonnet as well. Where has he picked up front-end damage? Interesting enough, all of them have front-end damage. No one I've seen yet has rear-end damage. Now, it'd be interesting to see if the damage actually goes on to the actual race, because this essentially is a race. And does the secondary AMGs have damage as well? Does Levan's have damage? He does look like he has a crumpled bonnet. Unless this is a texture issue, a handful of drivers have all been into the wall, either at the same place, or they've had an epic crash that we just haven't seen. Which is interesting, to say the least. As there you can see the damage on Paul Stanley's car. So it'll be interesting to see if it goes over that. So we have a total of 6 drivers here who have at least set a lap time here. We have what looks to be 8 drivers currently out on track. Yes, we do. With Alex Connor currently setting the pace here in our warm-up race with a 1:21.313 from his BMW M6. Where is our pole sitter? Well, he's down in P9 at the moment. He hasn't put a time in, has he? No, only 6 of our drivers have exactly. We have 9 of them on track, and a bunch of them have gone into the pit lane for reasons that I can only imagine would be to fix the front end, because it's very bizarre. There we go. Well, Alex Connor's come out the pit lane with now a fixed on it, so that's good. So that means they don't have to carry over. I presume Harry Hannam's got the same thing as well, because he was another driver that had a damaged front end. Nope, it looks like Harry Hannam's front end is fixed, but his bonnet is still a little bit damaged. Yes, it is. Even his front splitter is damaged as well. You can see on the sides of the aeroducts that it's kind of bent in. Very interesting as he works his way through the chicane and through the bowl complex here. Is Harry Hannam, which I said before, one to watch here is Harry Hannam. Did rather well during the EMSO Summer Series. Was certainly 1 to 5 for the championship all the way down to the wire as well. It was just one small mistake, which unfortunately, even in sim racing, can cost you a race. Granted, I guess you can't destroy your car essentially, because you can probably fix it and get it back out there on track, unless we have retirements in place, which I think we do have retirements in place. Right, at least not like in real life racing, where unfortunately you get stuck with a rather hefty bill towards the end. And there's Harry Adams' car on the pit lane, and it just magically got fixed again. Let's get back with the track on, the on-track action, excuse me. Here's Joel Gandil. We haven't seen much of him in qualifying. He did qualify in the top 10, if I'm not mistaken. Yes, he did. And he's currently circulating here in the warm-up. A bit of a late appearance. I think one of the only drivers we haven't seen out is Mohamed Akram. We haven't seen Alexander Zanivas, nor have we seen Gab Negler either. So hopefully we'll see them in the actual race. Not sure why they would give up the opportunity to get a few extra laps in, like the rest of the field have done, because even drivers like Rob Day have just come out as well, after struggling in qualifying, just getting to grips with the track. There's the Corvette C7R of Mazawi behind the wheel. Looks like Ryan Trutch has stepped down from his chariot. No longer behind the wheel of the AMG. They did a few laps behind the wheel. They actually posted a time there of 1:26.837. He's about he wasn't too far off Charlie Hayek's time company, but he's only 0.3 of a second off. There's Ryan. There's Al-Mubarak, who will line up on the second row of the ring, 4th position. He was the early pace setter throughout the race in qualifying, and was looking for a very strong start to the season here, but unfortunately dethroned in the final 5 minutes by 3 separate drivers almost, because it was Alex Connor, Harry Hannam, Mubarak, and Mahor, who was also in the top 4, and all of them vying for that all-important pole position here. That's our first round. Just under 4 minutes to go. There's Vehicle Professor. Haven't seen him on track yet, have we? No, we haven't, because here he is in his BMW M6. We can see the Saudi driver here. He's currently tucked in behind now the sole AMG GT. And who's behind the wheel of that AMG GT? It's Le Mans. It is Deed, who's currently shown his P7, 124.662. This is just a warm-up race here. No points awarded. It's just you could say it would be like a friendly match of football, isn't it? Though, I think when they get too close to each other, it's not going to be so friendly now, is it? And look, more front end damage for the Mercedes. Ooh, that was close there between those two, wasn't it? Between the AMG and the BMW M6. And it's a good thing this is the warm-up race here and not the actual race, because that would have been quite costly for both of them. Now, that was the Vans in the AMG. Apologies if my voice sounds a bit strange at times. My throat has decided to not play nice with me today at all. Now, just going back to that content we saw going through the bowl, or almost contact going through the bowl, that's how tight it was, but it looked like the AMG kind of went out a bit too wide, and here we are back again with the two of them. So it was Vehicle Professor in the M6. He's still actually behind the AMG for now, as the AMG takes a much wide line there compared to the M6, and finally Vehicle Professor makes his way through. Some straight lines there. Really following the racing line is the AMG GT driver. Ooh, bit of a slide there through the corner before we get onto the back straightaway there. But Vehicle Professor keeps it in line, keeps it on track as well. You can see the different lines that they take as well. Much later on the brakes seem to be for AMG driver. And just behind the wheel there. Here's Hazem Zaki, but let's go back with Vehicle Professor, if we can. And here's BMW M6. He's just gone through the bowl complex. He's turning through. Ooh, too much speed carried through there. But he's going to dive straight into the pit lane, is he? No, he's not. He's going to actually go offline to allow the AMG through, and he's gone into the pit lane. He has indeed. So let's go back with the AMG here. Le Mans is currently 8th fastest in our warm-up lap here. And it seems to be some of our top drivers have not set fast times. I think they're maybe hiding a secret or two, not trying to give too much away here before the start of our first race. But of course, we have seen some impressive lap times already. Some close encounters as well. Not of the third kind, but of the first kind, because we saw it in action happen. Less than a minute to go now in our warm-up session here before the start of round 1. Hashtag nofilterdxb Esports tournament for 2021. Of course, the build-up for the grand finale, which will take place later this month at the hashtag nofilterdxb, which takes place at the iconic Dubai Harbour, which is the latest take on motor show. Of course, used to see that every 2 years. This time will be completely different, and it will feature esports as well, which will be a first for the region and a first for the Middle East as well. It's pole position with race room tackling the challenge of bringing esports, motorsports to the region, and we kick things off quite splendidly with a fantastic event. And that wraps up our warm-up race here at round 1. So we'll close the session off here, and then we will go on to the track introductions. We can talk a little bit more about the national circuit here, because of course it does recreate exactly what we have here in Dubai at Motor City, the Emirates premier racing facility, the Dubai Autodrome. And it looks like, well, we don't have a lot of time to talk about it because it looks like we're going to jump straight into the race. Indeed we are, because we've lined the grid up exactly where they should be. Can't see exactly who we have, but once again, it is myself, Christopher Milburn, here with you for our first round here at the Dubai Autodrome, the national circuit, with air temperature that's actually gone up. So it looks like it is working in real time because it's no longer 18, it's gone up by 4 degrees, but track temperature has cooled by 4 degrees, interesting enough. Wind speed has gone down, it's sunny and dry, as it has been all year round here in the United Arab Emirates. So pretty spot on there for the thingies. But we're about to go green now. No, we're not doing driver of the day. Getting rid of the event info. There we go. It's gone. Let's get a my name as well because you don't want to see that for much longer. But there you see on the left-hand side of your feed is the starting order, and we are about to go green. The 5 lights are on when I start orders. Green flag waves, the lights go out, and away we go here for the first time in the hashtag nofilterdxb round 1. Down towards turn 1 we go. There's cars all over the place. There's a sea of BMW M6 and Bentley Continentals streaming towards us here down towards turn 1. But who will it be through the first corner? Who's going to get through cleanly? Do we get through cleanly? Is the biggest question of all. Yes, we do. For now, there's a little bit of drama going on. A lot of drivers leaning on each other. But it looks like we got through cleanly so far. Oh, there is a bit of contact further down the field going to turn 2, though. That was further down the field, but Al Mubarak got the fantastic jump on the field here. He's leading down onto the back straight. We go, not quite actually, because we're now into the first sector of the track, excuse me. Oh, we got a car that's spun right. That's a BMW M6, but who is it? Have they got going in? Yes, they have. Now, who was that went around? It's not Charlie Hayek, although he looked like he got caught up in that. Who's fallen back? Can't quite make out. Was it Charlie Hyde? No, it wasn't, because it was one of the other BMW M6 with the 10 livery on it. One that looked very similar to that. Oh, and Paul Stanley's off as well through the chicane. Oh, and there's calamity already to the entrance of turn 13 and 14 into the bowl complex. And we're riding on board now with Paul Stanley, who was off through the chicane. And is now working his way down towards turn 1 here for the first time. Let's actually go through, let's have a look at what the lead is up to, shall we, with Ibrahim Al Mubarak, who started in 3rd position and got the jump on Harry Hannum, Alex Connor, and Manaor, and has shot up into the lead of the race, but he hasn't been able to escape Harry Hannum, has he, at all? Because Hannum is 2/10 of a second behind him at the moment, but Hannum is defending from Manaur, who was our pole sitter, which is allowing the Bentley Continental now to escape ever so slightly up the road. It looks like we've got at least 4 car lengths separating our race leader and Harry Hannum. But let's go now with the battle for 2nd position at the moment between the 2 BMWs. Actually, meant that 3 BMWs. We have a triple act here of M6s, Harry Hannum, Manor, and Alex Connor, all vying for 2nd position. And then we've got another Bentley, because we've got Al Kabaisi in the Bentley as well, a little bit further back, but this battle for 2nd here is on. And they made their way through the chicane line astern. Very clean racing here from these 3 drivers. As on the inside tries to go Alex Connor. It looks for an opportunity, but can't see it, can he, there? As they work their way now through the penultimate corner, down towards the final corner we go here. And Harry Hannum trying to close up on Al Mubarak, but he's got to be very careful because Manaur is within striking distance as well, isn't he? Now, he is shown as a 2nd behind our race leader, but that would be the gap would mean it's 5/10 of a second separated 2 of them. That looks a lot closer than 5/10 of a second between the 2 M6s, because you could fit about a car in between them. Definitely not 5 seconds worth of car in there. Oh no, the gap has extended as we work our way through sector 1 here. But the battle is certainly on here for 2nd position. And Harry Hannum looks to be closing in as well on the race leader. Now, of course, with our race leader escaping up the road and with Hannum having to defend, it's going to slow Hannum down, which is what Al Mubarak needs. But at the same time, Manor and Connor both want to get through as well. Despite them all being BMWs, they're not the same team. They're all against each other here for one prize and one prize only. That, of course, is the 20,000 dirhams that is on offer at our final round that will take place later this year. Oh, the gap has really come down now between Hannum and our race leader. And that was not a car length, that was a bumper length separating the two of them. And he was almost at the back of him going through the mall complex, wasn't he? As we're through into the final corner now. Let's have a look what's going on elsewhere. Let's leave this battle for now. Well, we're still looking at the battle for some reason. As there is on the right-hand side of your picture is the Bentley Continental Gt3, our race leader, with Harry Hannum tucked in behind him. And let's look about less than a car length separating them down towards turn one we go. But it looks like Manawar is catching up as well, and he's not letting Hannum escape at all because he's reapplying the pressure as we continue on through here in round one of our first of our 20-minute races. We're going to do one race a day by the looks of it. We'll do only 1 point race as well. We do have the warm-up lap, but unfortunately it doesn't give any points, and it's only the actual main or feature race, we'll call it, will be the one where you get all the points. It's Alex Connor still looking for a way past Manawar in his BMW M6. It looks like Alex is certainly on the attack here, outbrakes himself before the chicane, doesn't quite clip the apex there, and runs a little wide. As we're back now with Harry Hannum in second position, 0.8 of a second. Of course, we do have live timing, and it doesn't go by the laps, it actually goes by where they are on track, and it updates in real time as well. As let's cycle our way through the field. Let's jump on with Khalifa Al-Kabaisi, who currently sits in 5th position at the moment, who is behind this battling pack there, who just peeks out a little bit. Not close enough to make a move on the M6 in front of him, but he's got to be careful because the Jamal Gandor car is right behind him, the Lebanese driver, looking for a way through. He's quite a ways back through turn one. Actually, if you want to try and brake late, turn one is probably not the best place to do it, especially when it's downhill and to the right, because you make one mistake and off you go. As these two are separated by, let's do some quick maths, because it looks like they're separated by about 0.3 of a second across. They come through the corner now. Certainly is about a car length between them. Let's see what the Porsche is up to. Our lone Porsche in the field of Alexandros Animas. There he is. A bit of a lonesome race here, isn't he? He's got no one really in front of him, but he's got the Mercedes AMG behind him of Vans. He's on a 1:20.033. It's his personal best. It's Alexandros Animas knows his track very well. Has raced here for as long as I can remember. I mean, I've been doing this for a while. He was already there when I started doing this, so he's definitely the man who probably knows the track like the back end of his hand. You see it currently running in 10th position. Sole Porsche in the field. Now, I see Ryan Trutch has decided to go back downstairs and into the racing sim after grabbing himself some sustenance to keep him going throughout the race. Ryan Trutch, the organiser of the series here, putting in some laps as well in the second of the AMG GTs, and he's ahead of Rob Day, who actually Rob Day was already up a couple of positions, but one of our biggest movers so far is Mustafa Al-Azawi, who has got up now himself into 13th position in his Corvette C7R, as he's currently behind the Bentley, but not close enough to make a move. And it looks like the gap up front has really come down now. Oh, sorry, it's gone up, come to think of it, because it's now a second between the two of them, and then it's about 0.2 of a second to 0.3 of a second on average between Hannum and Manawar behind. And of course, those two battling for second position, which is why, and it explains why as well, Harry Hannum is dropping back and is not able to stay with the leader. I mean, he's not losing a lot of ground here, but he is losing the leader as we continue on. And if he keeps defending from Manawar, he's going to have to settle for second, as Manawar looks to the outside there. That's not where you can pass, because of course track limits also in effect as well. Of course, our watchful steward in close proximity as well is keeping a close eye on all the on-track action. As we said, despite it being online and digital, it is still as close to a real race as humanly possible. And we of course take into consideration penalties, fuel, tyre wear, damage, and everything else in between to ensure that we have a even field throughout the series here. Al-Mubarak continues to lead here after getting the jump on Harry Hannum and Manor at the beginning of the race, because of course Manor was our pole sitter but is now into third, so he's lost 2 places. Harry Hannum has stayed where he is, but the biggest gainer so far is Al-Mubarak. Alongside him is Al-Azawi as well, who also made up 2 spaces as well. Let's go further down the field and see some action again between Khalifa Al-Kabaisi and Jamal Gondor. But let's actually go back now with our race leaders, because I've just spotted that they are coming up on lap traffic. Yes, they are. And now this is going to play in the hands of Harry Hannum. But at the same time, it's also going to play in the hands of our race leader as well, because, of course, lap traffic can get in the way. Now, they'll be looking in their mirrors and ensuring that they're not impeding the race leader. However, if they catch him at the wrong time, like Al-Mubarak did just there, going through the corner, of course, the race, despite them being a back marker, they are still in a race of their own as well. And, of course, they, especially if they're in battle, say for 15th position, they are still technically in a battle of their own, which they obviously don't want to lose out on. But luckily enough for Al-Mubarak, he got through there cleanly, as did Hannum and Manahar. And it looks like Alex Connor as well has gone through. Or is he still with the traffic? It's around the outside, a bit wide there for the Bentley. Just again, that's what a lap car can do. It can send you out wide. As we said, if they catch it in the wrong place, it can be disastrous. So Alex Connor indeed has gotten through. So our top 4 have got past our back markers. As Rob Day, goes now into 15th position. There is Alex Connor in 4th. Not as close as we thought it would be now, would we, with Hannum and Manor? But because it also looks like the 3rd place driver is actually losing time to Harry Hannum, which means that Hannum can now try and attack our race lead. He's got a gap of 1.7 seconds. But if there's any driver in the field that can claw that back within 8 minutes or so, he's certainly the one to do it, isn't he, in his BMW M6? We've seen previously in his sim racing career. I think he's done more than that, come to think of it, as we will continue on now, working our way through the field, see where everybody is. As Al-Mubarak leads, Harry Hannum in 2nd. Manahar in 3rd, Alex Connors 4th, Al-Kabaisi in 5th position, currently 8.7 seconds back, and he's managed to put a bit of a gap between himself and Jamal Gondor, about 5/10 of a second between the 2 of them as we run right now. Then it's Akram, who is in 7th position, with Paul Stanley in 8th. Paul Stanley's actually been on a bit of a move as well, because remember, on the first lap of the race, he was all over the place going through turn through the chicane before the bowl, and actually Paul Stanley's just made up, well, he did make up a position. He's side by side going down towards turn 1. Is he now? He's looking on the inside here at Mohamed Akram, and he does look like he takes a position away. Yes, he does. Brakes much later compared to Akram there. Got the undercut as we went through turn 1 there, but here comes Akram again, looking for a way around the outside. That's not where you want to be, because of course that's the longer way around as well, although it would have been the preferred line going to the next corner, but unfortunately too far away to make the move stick as we continue on here. But a great battle here between the 2 of them. We've also got a battle as well, a little bit further up the field as well, actually for the 2 positions in front here of Khalil Al-Kabaisi and Jamal Gondor, who are battling for 5th overall. As Paul Stanley managed to stay ahead of Akram, as he's through a much wider line there through the corner, that first part of the chicane as well, and that's allowed Akram to really close in, as Akram's got a much tighter line there through the bowl complex, but just not close enough to find a way on the inside. He is wide through the penultimate corner, looking for a way around the outside again through the final corner, but can't quite do it. Oh, it looks like he's got the switchback here, because he's going to try the inside line.
much like Paul Stanley did to him on the previous lap. Now let's see how this pans out. Looks like side by side to go down. You see the M6, the Bentley in front of them as well, battling for position. That was Jamal Gandor looking for a way past Al-Khawaisi, but again, it looks like Paul Stanley, the best of the late breakers here, keeps that position. And you just saw as well in front of you, Jamal Gandor is now in 5th position. He found a way past Khalifa Al-Khawaisi going through that first corner. He's made the move stick, and off he goes. Or off he goes what he thinks, or what he'd like to do even, because Al-Khawaisi is actually sticking with him. There's about half a car length separating the two of them as they work their way now through Sector 2 here. On lap number 11. Race leader still has a gap of 2.8 seconds. He is dropping Hannum, and Alex Connor, who now sits in 3rd position, is dropping back as well. Although the battle is on still for 3rd place, but the battle is still raced on here for 5th as well. Sorry, for 4th. No, sorry, it is 5th, isn't it? Yes, we're getting too excited here. I thought they were a bit further up the field there in the BMW M6 and the Bentley Continental as well for this battle here for 5th position. As Rob Day, unfortunately, now looks like he's in the pit lane. So is that a retirement? It doesn't say that he is out of the race. I think he's still in it, so that's fine. It looks like we have a battle there between two of the BMWs as well. That would be Alex Connor and Manohara as well, excuse me. As, yeah, indeed, that was the two of them battling down towards turn 1. Alex Connor kept the position and stays in 3rd place. As he now tries to reel in Harry Hannum, and unfortunately Harry Hannum now losing time to Al Mubarak. Thought now with him escaping both Connor and Manohar that he would be able to start gaining some ground, but it doesn't look like that's the case at the moment. I wonder where he's losing all the time currently, because Alex Connor in close proximity as well, about a quarter or so separating the two of them, and he's bringing Manohar with him as well as we carry on here. And there is Manohar as well, all over the back of him, as the leader is about to complete lap number 13 here. He's going to start lap number 13. I think he's going to start lap 13 now, isn't he? Yes, he is. And he's currently 3.3 seconds ahead of Harry Hannum, who's still losing time to the race leader. And I must say, it's been a fantastic start so far for Al Mubarak. Okay, we still do have 3 minutes on, but he didn't get pole position, although he was looking pretty strong through qualifying. But had to settle for 4th fastest at the line. And then he actually did get the jump on the two in front of him, as well as Alex Connor as well, because Alex Connor was also looking for that all-important first position going down towards turn 1. But Al Mubarak got the jump on all of them and managed to stay out in front. And it looks like our race leader is coming up now on back marker traffic. Chadi Hayek, who's currently running in 14th position, is just in front of our race leader, and he's got a very damaged front end as well on his BMW M6. There's been a little contact with him. Now, we did see some contact earlier on, and I think Chadi Hayek was in the midst of at least one of them, sort of towards the end of Sector 1 on the first lap, although I think he was just an innocent bystander, and you can see that he's moved right off to the left-hand side of your screen, just behind the standings, or where our drivers are currently on track, to ensure that he does not impede the race leader, although he's going to go on the inside of the race leader. That's a very bold manoeuvre going through turn 1, but luckily enough, he did keep it on the brakes. Sorry, apologies for that. It looks like we've got a battle brewing once again for 2nd, because Alex Connor has once again managed to reel in the 2nd place car of Harry Hannum. Now, let's see if we can jump on board with Alex Connor. We were briefly there on board with him. Let's try that again. There we go. Let's see. There we go. And you can see what the gap is. You can see it's about a car and a half length separating the two of them, as it really closes up there going towards the chicane, doesn't he, Connor, as he works his way through now into the left-hander. And again, the Harry Hannam car now closing in on Charlie Hayek, the back marker, which is great news for Alex Connor because, of course, he's slowing down Harry Hannam. But Charlie pulls off to the right-hand side of the track to not impede these two here, which Harry will be very grateful for. But Alex Connor will be dreading because he'd want Charlie Hayek to impede Hannam, so of course that Connor can find a way through. But down towards turn one we go here. Let's see if Connor will try and make a move on the inside. No, he doesn't. Does tuck in a little bit, doesn't gain a lot of ground, but it's through sector 2 is where we see Connor starting to really start to close in on our second place driver here. So working his way through sector 1 here. Let's go back with some more on-track action here. You can see there just briefly, Alex Connor does start to reel him in. So we're still riding on board with Alex Connor. There we go. Back on to the circuit feed. With Connor trying to ring him in. Al Mubarak in a race of his own almost. And I think that the clock has just struck 0. So that means we should have 1 lap to go with our race leader. Where is Al Mubarak? There he is. He's going through the ball complex right now. As sparks fly further down nowhere. Why are we not going to Al Mubarak? Because he's about to go through the final corner. There he is, the penultimate corner at least. And he's going to go through the final corner now. And is this the checkered flag for Al Mubarak? When he comes across the line, will he be our first winner? Yes, he is. Ibrahim Al Mubarak wins race 1 of the hashtag nofilterdxb already at round 1, because we've only got 1 race here. Harry Hannam will have to settle for second, and then in third position will be Alex Connor to complete the podium. Manahan will have to settle for 4th position. Jamal Gandor is in 5th position after a great battle with Khalifa Al-Kabaisi in 6th position. Paul Stanley, who made great strides throughout the race, moving his way up into the top 7 after fighting with Mohamed Akram as well for a while. Hasim Zaki in 9th with Alexander Salibas rounding out the top 10. And then we have the Mercedes AMG GT there across the line in 11th position with Gav Naylor, who we haven't spoken about much at all in the race here. In his Bentley, just runs wide through the final corner there, but across the line in 11th. Then we have Mustafa Al-Azawi in 13th in the Sol Corvette. Looks a bit beaten up, doesn't it? His Corvette, especially from the front and the back. It's a bit of a squash nose. And Charlie Hayek in 14th. I think he is the final of our finishers there in the BMW M6. So that wraps up our first round here of hashtag nofilterdxb Esports Tournament for 2021. We have our official first winner, Ibrahim Al Mubarak, and of course we will have the race standings coming up shortly. But no doubt a valiant effort there from any driver. Of course, this is just the first round of 3 that we'll have. Of course, we'll do this every Wednesday for the next 3 weeks. So again, we'll be back next Wednesday with some more on-track action, and then the weekend after that as well. And then the final week that we have will, of course, be at hashtag nofilterdxb, where, of course, we will be doing our grand finale with a grand prize of 20,000 dirhams for our overall winner. Race winner is Ibrahim Al Mubarak. There is confirmation as well, and he got the fast lap as well to boot. So a great day out of the races for Ibrahim Al Mubarak. Harry Hannam in second, 3 seconds behind Harry Hannam. Alex Connor in third, with Manahor in fourth, and Jamal Gandor rounds out the top 5 here. So, of course, we will, before we end the stream, of course, we will have some news about the upcoming events. We'll have the provisional standings as well when we get the points up and running. And, of course, we'll end the stream as well. But before we do that, we'll, of course, have a look at the standings, which are currently being calculated. Be a nice and simple design here, so if you're looking for something fancy, feel free to send us your fancy graphics do send it to us on social media. Don't forget to follow us on social media as well at Pole Position to find out all about our next races and, of course, our next rounds, and of course, nofilterdxb as well, because that's coming up at the end of the month, and that's going to be our grand finale. As I said before, big prize pool available to our winners, or winner even, isn't it? Because only one driver will walk away with that. So I think we might have to wait a little bit longer for the provisional standings, but we might as well bring this to a close now. This has been #NoFilterDXB Esports Tournament 2021, Round 1. And of course, a huge congratulations to Ibrahim Al-Mubarak, who won the first race here at the Dubai National Circuit. We'd like to give a huge shout out to Menk, Ben Q, SimCube for the direct drives, Cube Control, who've been providing us with the steering wheels. And I think that's about it for now. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you next week. I've been Christopher Morn. Stay safe.